Alright, we're going to try this again. I think I'm recording. Alright, so looks like it's working. This is tough. Alright, let's start with first color. This dark sea blue. I'm going to use this for the coats, robes, things like that. This is so... So I'm using the same painting method I used for my previous Turnip 28 models. I'm just going to block in these colors, and then we're going to use a oil wash to bring out the details. So these guys, so it's been a while since I've done a stream, so I'm hoping everything's actually working. And anyone who wants to watch this can. Still haven't figured out quite how to do this in such a way that it's not being held at kind of an awkward. These are the Kickstarter models that I 3D printed up. Now, I'm getting pretty precise with these details right now, but that's not really going to be necessary. Once that oil wash goes on, it really fills in all the little corners and creases. So if I don't get all the way to the edge, it's not the end of the world, but it is nice to be as close as I can. Now this guy, the toady here, is kind of the leader of this unit. He's got this long coat. He's very similar to the other model, the other toady I have for the army. Look at the reference. I believe the entire coat, sleeves. So he's got the chest plate, the neck scarf, and the hat are all going to be in that same color. So, let's see, this is going to be a little tricky. The whole sleeve. Yep, the whole sleeve. Now this brush I'm using, this is the Army Painter Regiment brush. I actually was going through some old orders and I realized I bought this brush in 2015. That's how old it is. So I've been painting with this brush for 8 years. I do actually have a replacement for it, but it just won't die. It occasionally gets the little hair that sticks out, but for the most part, it's held up. And it does probably 90% of my painting is with this one brush. Alright. Now he's got a bit of a scarf that he wears. So we're going to get that. And painting that scarf gives you a nice clear definition between his metal mask and his chest plate. So I'm hoping you can hear me. If anyone ever jumps in, please hit me on the comments. Just let me know if you can hear my volume. Hear me talking. You should hear kind of some lo-fi music playing in the background. And it's hard for me to tell if I am balancing that correctly. This is more or less a kind of a test stream. It's been a while since I've done any streams. And even the ones I have done in the past aren't exactly the smoothest. Alright, so get this top check here. This edge looks good. Now let's see underneath here. Good. First coat. Next, I think I'm going to go down with the silver. There it is. I'm using this shining silver. This is a real bright metal. So once I do the oil wash, everything's going to tone down. So I want everything maybe a little brighter than normal. You can kind of see the combo. What that blue will turn into. Wondering if I use the wrong coat. No. I wonder if I use the French blue on this guy for the coat. It really doesn't matter, but oh well. Oh yeah, I did. So I kind of reverse that pattern, which is fine actually. So now we're going to go with this silver. Now this Army Painter, this is the Army Painter Shining Silver. I really like this stuff. It's got a nice, it flows really well right out of the box. So let's see what we got. Again, we've got this kind of, oops, got a little too much. There we go. Got a little piece of support here. I'm just going to pop that off. There we go. All right, so we got the metal. Now there's this beak here. I'm going to go with the metal again. That's not looking too bad. There are a few other metal parts that we'll probably have to touch up later, but for the most part, there we go. Should be most of the metal parts. I think next. So again, how you know. All right. So this guy's gonna have the gold epaulets again, just like on my previous one. A little trick for doing gold. Oops, that's a lot of paint for what I'm going to use. And we're going to switch over. I think I'm going to go a slightly smaller brush here. Something a little finer. These are the Princeton rounds. What's the actual brand? It's Princeton Art. Umbrias. I picked these up at a hobby store, and honestly, I really like these. They are a synthetic brush. They really hold the tip well, especially once I got paint on them. So they're great for this some fine detail work. So for this guy, we're going to go with we're going to work on those shoulder pads. I'm using this kind of Vallejo buff. This color is what I'm going to do with this. This is just going to be an underlayment. I'm going to go over this with go over gold eventually. If I were just paint gold on here, gold does not coat very well, and I'd probably end up with either having to do lots and lots of layers of gold or not very good. Now, if I wanted to do something a little darker, I would underlay this with a brown. Well, because I'm going to be darkening it out afterwards with a wash, I want to keep everything as bright as possible. So once that dries, we're just going to go through and touch it up. So he's got little buckles here. On his sleeves. There we go. All right, next color. Right down the line. So there's my notes I took last time. Unfortunately, I didn't tell what I painted. So I got white, khaki gray, and brown. So we're going to go with this khaki gray. This I've been using a lot for. I use this. This is the Vallejo khaki gray. I use this for the backpacks. Not the pouch. Not the sleeping pouch, but this backpack I'm going to do with this khaki gray. This stuff is a very... Oops. So you can see this is going to coat. This coats pretty good. Any of these khaki colors I find from Vallejo coat really well. Well, somebody's watching. I don't know who that is. So if you're watching, say hello. I'll try to catch it on the chat and say hi back. Now, while I've got that brown out, we're going to go through, and I'm hoping the metal has, some of this metal has darkened up. Let me get this boot. Ew, that did not, that's a little ugly, but I'll clean that up later. All right. So this takes a lot of effort holding it at this kind of different angle that I'm used to. I tend to do this and then pull it right out of camera view. Finding a good brown has been tough. This is one of the Vallejo Army Painter colors. It doesn't coat the best, though. Once I do a wash, it looks fine, but it's one of those ones while you're painting it, it just doesn't look quite right. Some of these large areas I'm going to kind of recoat. And when I'm kind of speed painting like this, I really don't want to have to go through and do multiple coats on these things. All right, so I've decided what I'm going to do is this pouch, whatever this is here, we're going to make that green, and we're going to go with red for the sleeping roll. And we've got a lot done already. Now, eventually I'm going to want to go through this silver. These little leather straps are going to do that with the brown. But I'm actually going to wait until the red is dried, because I got these leather straps there. Well, I think we'll just do the red right away. All right. This brush is getting a little bit funky. All right. The amount of detail in these 3D prints, these models that came with the Kickstarter, just incredible. Let's see. Looking good. All right, green. So I think 52 miniatures did Turnip 28 in 28 minutes. Let's see, we've been painting for, I think, 27 minutes now. And I got a ways to go yet. Though, actually, a lot of it's doing pretty good. So I think the next, I'm going to do the green. Go with just green screen green from Army Painter. Just a good shake. Now, Army Painter is probably not necessarily my top pick for paints, but it is what's available locally at the local store. And sometimes it's nice to just, A, support the local store, and B, just browse and buy what you're looking at. Though this isn't too bad of a green. As you can see, it's not coating the best, but honestly, once it's dry and we've done the wash, it'll be fine. So let's take a look, compare him. So here's the previous one. This is the one that has gone through the oil wash process. And that's exactly the same red between that bedroll, and this is what it looks like after you do that wash. So, and actually it's the exact same body too. Well, this one has some more fruits and looks like some more tubers on there. All right. So we got the green. I might touch that up a little bit more. Green's done. Now we're going to start the flesh. I can't remember what flesh tone I used. Look at my notes. I didn't write it down. So, I'm going to go with barbarian flesh. Shake the heck out of this one. Ooh. What did we say? So, J4 Head, since you're listening, how is my sound coming in? I'm not monitoring it, so it's hard for me to tell if my voice is too loud or if I have decent volume. You should be hearing, I think, some lo-fi beats going on in the background in my voice. Flash. Oh no, I lost him. Oh well. Now that I was doing the, I pre-coated with the buff color. Now we're going to take the gold. Now gold over something dark like this jacket just wouldn't have worked. So I'm going to get these tiny little buckles. And let's get, I think I got a little bit on the coat there, on the hat. Oh well. So J4 Head, I don't know if you caught me asking. I was asking if my sound was okay. You should hear some background music underneath my voice. So if you could comment, let me know how that sounds. Okay, sounds perfect. Music's just background and to help cover up background noises here. You think it should be a little louder? Because I can adjust that separately. I keep trying to convince Mrs. Old Ones with Dice to be my producer, but she won't do it. Oh. So this is the... Okay. So pretty much all I have to do yet on this guy is the brown straps here and these brown straps, and then there's some white. So a couple more colors. Almost done with the hard part for this guy. And I'm not going to do the oil wash right away. That definitely needs some, I want to make sure that this paint is fully dry before I start an oil wash. Now the tricky part. So, well, somebody else is watching now. All right, Jack, I see that you are watching here. So it's like you're thanking me for the demon ship videos. Hey, that terrain is great. You know, I really like it. And I really like a lot of the games coming from Blackside Studios. And I don't know if you've noticed, but they actually just started pre-orders, or about to start pre-orders for kind of the next version of that, which is going to be more fantasy. So, and it looks like I said, my production lighting is on the videos great. Thank you. I appreciate it. So Jack, if you haven't noticed, this is a Turnip 28 model. This is a toady. This came off of a 3D print. So right now I'm just doing some block coloring in right now, and the next step will be to do an oil wash. And this is what they kind of look like after I do the oil wash. Maybe this one's a little close. These are basically very similar models. A lot of the same colors on them. But this is what the oil wash does. So that'll be another step for another video. But right now, I'm almost done with the blocking for this guy. I got some white stitches and the roots coming out of his head. And I'm just going to paint them straight white. Jarhead. Okay. Will do. All right, now I get these stupid little stitches. I think these little details really are Hey Jack, I definitely will. Thanks for telling me I'm doing a good job. Hey, do me a favor, Jack. If you do end up buying the Demon Ship game or the terrain board, I think there's a comment section on your order. Let them know where you heard about it. I'd love to be able to get in good with them and maybe get some early samples of some of their products that are coming out. There we go. One down. I think that's all I'm going to get done. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. All right. I think, let's see, we've been painting for 44 minutes now. I got one done out of the 5 out of this unit. But I think I got her. It's a little out of practice there. It's been a while since I painted these guys. So I think tomorrow morning, keep printing up some of these, or keep painting on some of these other guys, and get another unit done. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching, and until next time.